Good evening and welcome back to Let's Play Technobabylon. When we left off last time, both Lotta and Charlie fell prey to the evil Galatea, but no worries, Lau and Chantelle are on the case.
Good work, Chantelle.
Thanks, Dr. Max.
My job will be a lot easier if I can get Central to agree to take you on full time.
Alright, let's take a look at this. Not the maid, this guy.
You're a lot stronger than you look. Not hurting him too much, are you? He technically has rights.
I'm only applying 55 kilopascals of pressure on his upper thorax. It'd take at least another 10 to pose a threat to his long-term viability.
Raise it another 3 then.
Okie dokie.
Alrighty, so can we just waltz on into the sick bay? It's locked with a password. Okay. You, what's the password? I can't even talk to him. I want to taunt him while he's down, but no. Okay, let's just try and get in here, I guess. The sign by the door tells you that this is a multi-purpose room, likely re-equipped from job to job depending on the needs of a client. From the smell and the surgical lamps you can see through the window, it appears to be fitted as a sick bay. Someone working aboard the aerostat has apparently forgotten to shut down their terminal after using it. Okay, we saw that before.
I've got to find Regis.
Okay, I didn't really think you wanted to go to the cargo hold there. This hatch is locked. Excellent. So, from Galatea, regarding the turret. You must understand, the aerostat uses non-flammable lifting gas, not inflammable. These two are opposites. The turret, or any other gunfire, will not cause an explosion of the gas. This is elementary school chemistry English. Please don't give me further reasons to doubt your competence. She's a harsh taskmistress. Alright. Cobalt/actual funeral arrangements. Dear colleagues, cremation and inhumation for Ethan Drummer, formerly Cobalt 6, killed in action, will take place at the conclusion of the operation. Until then, please limit disruption to duty in acts of remembrance. Please limit disruption to duty in acts of remembrance. Okay, got it. Alright, Cobalt 3, the aerostat. Yeah, the aerostat's a floating pile of garbage, but it's safer than the last job. If Doc wants you to fix something, you fix it. Control for the flaps has been wired to the 4 junction points in the lower hallway. Alright. From centralized revenue, tax payment. Dear Mr. Keach, following surveillance of your net activity and public behavior, it appears that you are working as a paramilitary contractor without having declared this source of income to the Centralized Revenue and Customs Department. Please complete attached form ND1A, or you may be subject to further investigation. And that's how Central became aware of this possible. She's going to track him through his taxes. Okay. Well, interesting, but
Hey, stop! What the hell's going on in here? Regis!
we gotta get Galatea, though. Okay, but alright, so we've got an injector, so we should be able to fix him. I know, Regis and Lotta are most important. But we needed to try and get Galatea if we could. Effectiveness report. Phyroactinase 414B. The use of a wetware-based incapacitating agent has proven fortuitous. In the course of his work, Mr. Kreisel has found the 414B wetware to be effective at subduing the targets while retaining consciousness, but also acts as a primer for the extraction process. The choice of wetware, rather than a conventional chemical paralytic, also enables a much less precise delivery vector suitable for covert work. The only downside thus far has been 414B's susceptible to wetware's inherent weaknesses, temperature, bodily rejection. Okay, and this is the same if we right-click it. So, alright. What about this body? The man's apparently taken several industrial rivets in the back. You're not sure you want to imagine the circumstances that led Regis to this. Does he have anything useful on him? On the body, you find his unusable weapon and the communication gear hooked into his neural wiring. Well, let's sync with this dead
I've
man.
the comm system. Now it thinks my traveler's part of their network.
Excellent, Lau. Can we wetware with this thing?
Wetware's not going to connect with that.
I want to wetware with everything.
She's got her own. Most thralls are practically leaking from the ears with wetware wiring.
We can't sync with her? Maybe she doesn't want to. The poor girl's unconscious. You're not sure what they were doing to her in this lab, but there have always been rumors about unethical private contractors abducting thralls off the street for research. Somehow, though, this girl's face seems oddly familiar.
She's out of it.
A stunner, huh? Regis' stunner lies on the counter. He may have been paralyzed, but it looks like they didn't want to take any chances.
I've got my own. Regis's wouldn't work for me anyway. They're signature weapons.
Alright, we'll leave it there for when he gets up. Okay, and we've got a terminal. Well, let's get over to Regis. Regis has been incapacitated. He's conscious, but apparently paralyzed. The number of specialized wetware substrates throughout the room gives you a clue as to how they might have done it. Okay, well... Can we...
That's not going to help him get moving again.
Alright.
Wetware's not going to connect with that.
A large terminal connected to both a cradle for the memory module and the bed. Looks like it's still running a trance simulation? Well, let's get her out of there. Locked. Apparently this terminal will take a little breaking before it reveals its secrets to you. Well, let's break that bad boy. Interesting. Dr. Baxter? He certainly looks like Dr. Baxter, according to the background reports you were given.
Excuse me?
We can talk to him?
There.
Who are you?
Allow me to introduce myself, my dear.
That is what I asked you to do.
My name is Dr. Baxter. I operate the cataloging station.
Baxter? Dr. Adam Baxter?
I believe so, yes.
Excuse me if this sounds a little rude, but aren't you dead?
How do you mean?
Well, yesterday I was probing your well-preserved remains at a crime scene.
Oh, yes. You're quite right. I was killed, wasn't I?
Yes.
It's strange because I could have sworn I was the one doing it.
Not the blonde man? The mindjacker?
It was definitely him, no doubt about it. One can't exactly commit suicide with a hammer, can they? I'm aware that I was murdered, but I have a surprisingly vivid memory.
Because you're logged into his head.
You remember being murdered?
Not precisely. It's as though it were an out-of-body experience. I have memory of watching the hammer striking from above. My hands, his hands, so bloody. It's all very peculiar, isn't it?
And you see no difficulty between being dead and talking to me.
That is most odd.
Well, so his consciousness, or at least some sort of, I don't know, computer imprint of it, has been loaded onto the mindjacker, and now he has access. Well, I don't know, like how much of a separate entity is he? He's basically just like an AI program at this point? But how complex of one? I mean, he seems to have some degree of self-awareness, and he can access the mindjacker's memories.
Do you know a Dr. Regis?
I know two, in fact. Charles and Viction. I killed Viction, didn't I?
Yes, you
So I
did.
heard.
It's very peculiar. I remember that I did it, but I can't recall the deed, nor my feelings on the matter.
You feel nothing?
I know I ought to. An act such as that would be emotionally weighty.
It was wiped
But
in
all
some
that
way?
remains is an absence. Do give my regards to Charles if you see him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love that.
How do you feel about Dr. Regis? Charles Regis?
I feel nothing particularly. I regret his decision to remove the embryos from the program, but
Nothing else? No anger? No revenge?
none at all.
Then
Maybe it's the influence of the neural governor on your behavior.
By no means. The weight of that cruel apparatus has been lifted.
I guess because you're no longer attached to it.
And yet, I feel nothing that would warrant it.
But if he doesn't feel a desire for revenge, then where is the mindjacker getting this hatred of Charlie?
Can you remember who killed you?
It was the blonde gentleman, wasn't it? Though I can recall it in the first person, I'm certain it was him.
How so?
He was my only company in the room, and I do not recognize him. I also realize how absurd the idea of my having committed this murder would be.
Do you know why he murdered you?
At first, I don't believe it was to have been a murder. This gentleman had larceny in mind. I recall his feeling so.
Mindjacking.
Yeah.
He was stealing the contents of your neurowiring, your brain.
Quite so. I was, after all, a leader in my field in the day. And while my memory was doubtless useful to him, he found something unexpected.
What?
A well of motivation, suppressed by years of therapy and technological intervention.
Your anger against Regis.
He took my mind. No doubt he acquired that as well.
Okay, so he did have the anger, but the anger is passed on fully to the mindjacker now, and whatever this is we're talking to is relieved of it, huh?
Why would anyone want to keep that part of your mind? What use would someone have for your desire for revenge?
Perhaps it isn't a matter of his need as the desire's need. Though suppressed by the governor, my thoughts on the matter were all-consuming. Now they have found a conduit through which they may act.
The mindjacker isn't in as much control as
and
he
that's why
thinks that.
he's taking his time about offloading that personality. Okay.
This might sound like a really stupid question, but what's death like?
I can see why this would be a useful matter for scientific curiosity. In my case, I'm afraid it's probably not representative. After all, can I really be said to be dead when my memory, my consciousness lives on?
I suppose all you could remember would be the physical destruction of yourself.
And that, most assuredly, was a great discomfort.
Okay, so that's a valid question he's asking, and of course this is a question that a lot of like sci-fi novels and stuff come to. Like, can he really be said to be dead? How much is it? But I don't know. Like, what is consciousness? Is consciousness basically a computer program? I don't know that I buy that. So I think he's probably what we're talking to is a replica of all the thoughts that were in the actual biological Baxter's minds, and he would have all the same memories and such that Baxter did, maybe the same kind of thought structure. And obviously he can interact to new information, like Lau talking to him. So in a way, it's kind of the same thing, but it's not quite technically, I think. It's to me, it seems like it'd be the same as, like, say a factory produced a bunch of plastic figurines, right? And you could look at any two of them and say these are exactly alike, except technically nothing can ever be exactly alike because they were not made at exactly the same time. Or if they were, they wouldn't be made at exactly the same physical location, you know, down to the millimeter or whatever. It's impossible for two things to be exactly the same at always. So for practical purposes, yeah, they're identical, but technically it's not really the same. That's a fine line.
Thanks for the help.
You are most welcome, my dear.
Alright. What about this fella? Even if it weren't for the fact you'd stored the image in your wiring, you'd remember this face anywhere after his escape at Animus. For a man about to pulverize someone's head with a claw hammer, he looks remarkably cool and confident, as though this is just a step in a larger plan. Can we talk to him? Nope. Dr. Baxter's body sits slumped in its chair, apparently the recent victim of a mindjacking attack. He looks a lot more complete than when you last saw him, though. So, he mindjacked him, which probably killed him, and then utterly destroyed his brain so that no one else could touch his consciousness? But if his mind was already jacked already, it'd have been wiped of everything. Why the... Well, maybe we should just pop on out and,
Wetware's not going...
Okay, I didn't think so. Ask Baxter about it.
Regis, can you hear me? Better figure out how to fix you.
Well, we've got the injector. We can inject something into him. I don't know why I clicked. You don't want to go back here yet, I don't think. Okay. Step on out. But... So what? Are they... What do they want Lotsa to do with that? Alright.
I can't leave Regis like that.
I just wanted to go in the hallway and see if there's anything that could help in there. Okay. What do we want to do for him? We don't want to jolt him.
Cobalt 3, this is actual. Do you, copy? Over.
Cobalt 3, standing by.
Cobalt 3, what is your status?
UAD has deployed, awaiting further updates.
Copy that.
Alright, so...
Cobalt 3, mission is compromised. Scrub the operation and return to base.
What? Negative, actual. Il Sitrep shows objectives not compromised.
Damn, worth a shot.
Oh well. Starboard?
Cobalt 3, hostile sighted to starboard side.
Copy that. Already in position for intercept.
Alrighty. Well, that's bound to have done something useful. What else do we want to do here? We haven't checked our news in a bit. Ground broken in construction of Newton's space. The city of Newton's ambitions as a spacefaring power were brought a step closer to realization last night as the captured asteroid 40448 Columbiad was moving into a geostationary orbit above the equatorial city. The operation, carried out by drones whose success was confirmed by ground control teams yesterday morning, represents the first major step in the construction of Newton's space elevator. The asteroid will serve as the anchor for the elevator and must now be connected to the grounding platform on the Earth's surface. Space elevator. Neuromancer had a space elevator, didn't it? We are extremely proud of what our engineers have been able to accomplish. I wonder if this is a reference to that. Like a bit of a nod to Neuromancer. Commented Councillor Diane Lee. Newton's equatorial position made it the obvious choice for this project, and we foresee easy access to space as potentially one of our biggest exports. Though a landmark in engineering, the project is by no means complete. The carbon nanofiber track must now be run from the asteroid to the city, itself a risky process. In the event of an accident, Newton's position on the Horn of Africa will allow a safe deorbit into the Indian Ocean. City authorities are optimistic that the elevator will be commercially active by 2101. Alright. You really don't want to try to connect with her?
She's got her own. Most
Alright. So if we can, like, heat him up or something, that'll help, but how do we do it?
wetware's not going.
Yeah, alright. Jolt him? Sorry, Regis.
That's not going to help.
No.
As much as I love shocking things, I don't think it'll help.
Bah,
As much as
no.
I love.
Okay, I don't think we want to mess with that body anymore. Okay. Weakness to temperature and bodily rejection. So, what can we do to adjust the temperature? She won't go outside. We can't go up the hatch. There's nothing to be done with his stunner. She's out. He's out. It's gotta be something with this terminal.
Excuse me.
Below there.
This might sound. What's that?
Well, we already asked him this. Okay.
Thanks for the.
You are.
Wetware's not.
Yeah.
I can't inject. I can't.
Inject
I can't-
everything. No. What do I want to do here? Jolt everything?
As much as I. As much.
No.
As much.
He's not gonna answer.
No answer.
Unsurprisingly.
Central, please acknowledge.
We can call Central?
Central Systems.
I didn't think she would.
Dr. Lau, has progress been made in your attempt to locate Dr. Regis?
Yes. I'm nervous. What if this is a really key thing? But I think maybe she might be able to help.
Yes. He left a message for me at the growth lab. It led me straight to him, in the abandoned factory district.
And you did not take him into custody?
No, he's not guilty.
Testimony suggests that he'd been framed for Baxter's
Oh, this is our evidence.
It also appears that something more serious is underway, linked to the mindjacker.
You believe him?
I have
Plans in
evidence.
motion that may threaten the security of the entire city. I can't quite explain how at the moment, but together, Regis and I... Please, Central, trust me that I know what I'm doing.
Acknowledged.
Hey.
Tasking asset. CS Lau M. Reactivating asset. CS Regis C.
Hey.
Continue with investigation of potential citywide security threat.
You're okay with this?
Analysis of Dr. Regis's behavior does not suggest a high-risk index to public safety. The only likely target of his aggression would have been Adam Baxter, deceased.
And he's been resolved. So you don't think Regis did it?
Whether he is responsible or not can be determined more thoroughly through forensic analysis. He does not pose a threat to others, and his continued presence suggests he is not a flight risk.
Alright, go Central.
In addition, his skill as an investigator will aid in resolution of more serious matters.
It will indeed.
Huh. Sometimes you have a really strange way of looking at things, Central.
I have a holistic point of view. I can see the big picture, as you might.
Yeah, she's just extremely practical.
Your investigation into anti-civil activities underway.
Because she's a computer program. So yeah, but this is awesome. We can be in contact with Central again. She can hopefully be of assistance to us. I'm glad we decided to go ahead and tell her the information. Yeah, good thing we trusted her. So.
Any further update on last night's heuristic attack?
No conclusive information has yet been discovered. It appears to not merely have been a DDoS attack coordinated by a large number of systems, but one targeted precisely to a vulnerable junction.
As if they had inside information on where to hit?
It would have required up-to-the-minute data on central system activities.
This is looking more and more like an inside job.
Perhaps investigation of suspected parties will be commenced.
Tell the Snatch teams not to be too rough. I want to speak to them as well.
Now then.
Central, where are we?
I have been able to locate the aerostat by triangulation of your own systems.
It can't hide this time.
It appears that you are aboard an aerostat XAN-78, loading registered flight plan. The planned course appears to match your current heading, azimuth 86 degrees, speed 45 kilometers per hour. I cannot locate Dr. Regis. It is possible that he has had his traveler modified.
Sounds like something he'd do. He's here with me. We're not sure where they're headed yet, but they're armed to the teeth in here.
Interceptors dispatched.
All right.
Contact will be made before the aerostat reaches the coast.
No further updates. Just checking in.
Confirmed and noted, Dr. Lau. Please proceed with your investigation.
Okay, well, awesome. I'm feeling really good about this. We haven't entirely cleared Regis's name, but you know, we've got evidence here. I think everything will be able to come to light, and he'll be fine. We've got Central on our side. We're gonna do everything we can to keep her in place. I don't know if she's really an outdated system, if it's the best to have her in control or not, but I disagree with what they wanted to do at the dinner party and just replace her in secret. If she needs to be replaced, if they're worried about her gaining too much control or whatever, then they need to go through the proper, however the city's governance works, I guess, aside, there has to be some kind of mechanism where there would be a group of people who would actually be in charge and have the authority to evaluate and decide if Central should be replaced. It's not going to be just some clandestine thing that a bunch of people on their own decide they feel like doing and not letting any of the rest of the citizens know about. So, we're going to keep Central in place. That's our plan. Now, what are we going to do to help Regis right now, though? That's what I got to figure out. If there were a way, can I get like an image of this? A way to send it to Central? Or like some way to get his testimony, because that would clear Regis.
Hello there.
Thanks for the...
You
Come on, does the Traveler have a recording functionality? Come on. Alright. There's only these 3 things in here I can interact with, right? Well, let's maybe...
I can't inject that.
Come on. Ah, but we can inject him. What do we inject him with?
Oh, my head.
Thanks, Max. Great job saving my ass and everything.
Yeah, and sticking me with an injector. You suddenly a medic?
Hey, it worked!
Just a lucky hunch. You going to fill me in on what's going on here?
Later. Update me on the immediate situation first.
Well,
Well, the bad news is I saw someone escape through the hatch at the top of that ladder.
Damn. It sounded like she was one of the ringleaders of this plan.
On the other hand, our newest recruit just made her first caller.
New recruit.
Oh yeah, you're going to love this. Ah, damn it, I don't believe
what happened,
it.
Chantelle?
It ran out of charge again, didn't it?
Ugh.
She must have overexerted herself. Damn it, I had him right here.
Whoa.
Well, he's trapped on an aerostat, so there's only so much he can do. I'm assuming he's on it.
The aerostat's taking off.
Where are they taking it?
Doesn't matter. Wherever it is, we need.
You okay?
You alright, Charlie? I'm not sure how much of that stuff I was supposed to give you.
I'll be fine.
You're in no fit state for any more trouble. Stay down here, try and figure out what they're doing with the girl. I'll find a way to the upper deck.
Oh, I'm so bummed that Chantelle's
Chantelle?
out.
Damn! I'll see if I can get her up and running again once this is all resolved.
Oh, so we can't be... I wanted there to be Chantelle and Max Lau, crime, fight us, but if she can't hold enough charge, then she'll just have to stick to being a personal robot. Okay, can we do anything for her?
She's out of it.
Anything else to
Hey,
say,
Regis.
Regis?
Yes, Dr. Lau?
So,
You feeling any better?
A little. How did you know to come to my rescue?
I broke their comms channels. Figured I owed it to them. Cracked the bug they put in my system and rode the signals back to theirs.
I'll never be able to figure out how you do these things, Max.
Which guarantees my job security. Can I get an update?
We need to get after the people running this aerostat and this conspiracy. I'll see what I can do for this girl.
So, Nita Jiang led us to these people. She's helping us find whoever set you up for Baxter's murder, right?
There's that. And Max, I haven't been completely honest with you.
There's a surprise. Dr. Cryptic has been withholding info.
Ah, cram it, Lau. These people, they took something from me. Embryos fertilized by myself and by Vicky, my wife.
yep.
These people stole your embryos? Your kids?
They needed me to get their memory module for them from Vanderwall. And they knew exactly what my price would be.
Wait, they tried to get you to help them?
And he did.
They forced me, Max. There was no way I could say no. Those
I still
embryos,
disagree with that.
they were all I had left of her. And because of those people, of all this,
I actually can't understand what he was going through. On the one hand, I kind of can, but it's... I don't know. It's hard to sympathize. It still was the wrong choice for him to make, and it's not the choice that I would make in that situation. But then, to be fair, maybe I'm just... I don't know. Not as passionate about embryos as him. Like, I couldn't see it being that important to me. It's not... To me, it's just not that huge a deal. If you have biological children or whatever, you know? Like, okay, if the embryos go, it's kind of sad, but it's not like the end of the world. If you really want kids, you can always adopt kids. I know, it's a different thing for him. Like he said, it was all he had left of Viksha, but, you know, there are plenty of people who lose a spouse and they don't get to keep, like, embryos from them or whatever. It's the thing that people deal with, not having that, so not the end of the world. And it's not all he has left of her. He has all her DNA in a tree. I mean, that's quite memorial enough, isn't it, Regis?
I hate to say it, Regis, but you're in serious trouble.
Yeah.
They broke you with this. They nearly compromised this case because of it. You should have told me. I'd have done what I could.
nobody
should've.
could have helped me.
You don't know that.
I was obsessed. I panicked. I felt like I was doing it for her, for my wife.
Regis, I hate to say this so bluntly. Your wife is dead. You have an obsession with these artifacts of her. The garden, the embryos.
Max,
You need to focus, Regis. People need our help right now. We've been led straight to our lead suspect. Can I count on you to do the right thing?
The embryos are gone. He destroyed them. There's nothing else they've got to twist me.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Not good that they're destroyed, but I don't know, in a way good that they don't have anything to hold over him anymore. So.
Nina's led us right to the mindjacker?
He was the blonde one Chantelle took down. I heard him gloat about what he'd done. He stores the target's information within his own wiring until he can offload it.
Looks like he's got quite an operation behind him. I guess it's not surprising he's been robbing synapses all over the world. Gotta be for something more than corporate espionage at this rate.
So,
the mindjacker tried to blackmail you because you're on this case?
It's more than that. It sounded personal.
Maybe you've crossed paths before?
No, not with him. But the way he talked, it was like he was out for revenge.
yeah, it's the
Not
Baxter
just
connection.
that, it's as if he were Baxter looking for revenge.
That's impossible. Baxter's dead for one thing. Maybe he's his son?
No, he's a mindjacker. When he drained Baxter, he didn't just get information. He got his motivation as well, and it stuck.
Sounds like he got a lot more than he bargained for.
Okay, so.
Who was escaping through the ceiling hatch? It wasn't the mindjacker, was it?
No.
No, he's the one Chantelle caught, briefly. By the sound of it, the mindjacker's working for her.
His work is part of a larger plan of hers, then?
Possibly. She's the one running this lab, for sure.
Chantal's really pulling her weight in this job.
It's a shame it couldn't hold down Cressel, the mindjacker.
Hey, cut her some slack. She took down 2 heavies on the tarmac.
I'm not going to make any promises about taking her on full time.
Oh, you called her that time, though,
You're
instead
just
of
worried
it.
about synthetic stealing your job.
You may as well take this now. You seem to be the maid wrangler.
So we're gonna get to mess around with it some more, eh? Excellent. Anything else about her?
Chantal's really...
I'm not going to make...
That's a shame.
Okay.
For what?
Oh.
Her shining wit?
Never underestimate having someone around who will do anything you say.
Why else do you think I keep you around?
Ha ha ha.
Ouch. Walked right into that one, didn't I?
I didn't mean to skip through some of that. I thought he was just saying the same thing. So,
So, this Cressel guy, the mindjacker, he killed Baxter?
And by the sound of it, ripped the contents of his mind first.
When I saw Baxter's head, I thought that either his killer really hated him.
Like I would. Or he was covering up evidence of a mindjacking by destroying his brain tissue.
It's a theory.
Oh.
Sounds like we might be able to back it up.
well, yeah, that does make sense because it was meant to be a frame. So, yeah. Okay, so that's why he smashed his head so much. Okay.
Central's gonna be pretty pissed about this. More than usual, I mean.
Is it working again?
Yeah, we fought off the intrusion.
Damn. I was hoping they'd broken
Oh,
it
Regis.
permanently.
Nah, we could handle it. It was a weird attack, though. Like, they knew exactly what they were doing.
Well-trained hackers. Foreign intelligence?
No, better than that. Like, they were intimately familiar with Central. Then, as sudden as it had started, the attack halted about 18 hours later. Any idea who the thrall in Sconto Blue is?
Not a clue. She must be important to their plan.
Maybe she just wandered into their airfield.
No.
A useful test subject for whatever this is.
She was at Cell earlier. She'd been targeted.
Yeah?
They must be after her for some
You
reason.
gonna own up to that part
I'll do
too?
what I can to keep her stable.
Do your best, Regis.
What?
She looks familiar. I can't quite place her, though. I guess I see too many thralls.
Okay, I have nothing to base this on. Just a wild theory out of the blue. But Max keeps saying she looks familiar. Is she somehow an embryo that was actually grown? Is she, unbeknownst to him, the daughter of Charlie and Viksha? She could be. Going by looks, she could be. I mean, she doesn't look especially like Charlie, but maybe a little more like Viksha.
So, what do we do from here?
Now we know this is where the mindjacker's operating from.
We need to find out what their plans for all those stolen memories are.
We'd better find out where this aerostat's going, too.
The best way of covering all those would be apprehending these people.
Alright, what about this weirdo terminal?
Dr. Baxter says hi. He seems a lot friendlier than I expected.
What?
Oh, don't panic. It appears he remembers his own ripping and death. Looks like we can be sure he was the mindjacker's latest victim. A significant part of his mind state's been offloaded into this system.
But why did you see him? Why is he in there?
They've been ripping minds and reprogramming the data through a memory module. I guess Baxter's the latest and still has the most independent agency. Doesn't sound like he harbors any ill will towards you, though.
Not anymore.
Maybe the neural governor? He wouldn't be able to get angry.
Well, he's dead. There's no governor. I think that this ghost of his in the machine doesn't include that part of him.
You mean this mindjacker's captain?
And that's why he's after
We
you.
just can't get rid of it. Find anything useful yet?
Just a length of cable.
Why would I need
Well,
a
thank
steel
you.
cable?
You're the tech, you figure it out. I also picked these up while I was finding my way in.
Now that's more like it.
Oh, hey, we got all kinds of goodies. Thank you.
So, we've caught up with our mindjacker. We know that he's apparently ripped dozens of prominent individuals in a number of fields.
Including Baxter, some of whom is apparently stuck. Question is, what's all this setup?
What do they plan on doing with the data they've stolen? Straight neural data is hard to process. That is, unless you've got an AI to read it.
Whatever it is, it must involve this girl.
Anything else about Chantelle, since we still have the option?
Really pulling her weight in this job.
I'm not going to make any promises about taking her on full time.
That's a shame. She's useful.
For what? Her shining wit?
Alright, this is what we
Never
had before.
underestimate having
Why?
out.
I'm worried if I
I'll
now
check in
that it'll
later.
be a hint that I don't want to get at this point. So. Anything new if we pop back in here?
Excuse me?
Below there.
No? Okay.
Thanks for the...
You are...
Look at all these goodies I have. Wait a second. Oh. None of these have personalities displayed. Okay, okay. But we should take Chantelle's personality. And maybe find something, a place where it will be useful. Okay. First off, I don't think this will... No. Okay. Do, 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 do.
Everything that was her is now in my pockets.
Alright. Oh, we get Sheffy and the barman as well. We're gonna get to talk to Sheffy again. I'm really excited about that. Okay. All kinds of hot spots here. So, what are we gonna do with these junction points?
That's one of the power junctions pulled.
We're gonna mess around with them all.
That's another done.
One here.
How many of these things are there?
4.
General alarm. Starboard control services compromised.
Ooh. Alright. And I don't think there's anything more we can do with this, right? Nah, it's all the same stuff. But, come on. Galatea. This is important evidence. Alright, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wind the episode down here. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this. Come back and next time we will continue our sabotage of the ship. We've got him cornered. There is nowhere for the mindjacker to escape now. And Galatea, she's the one I really want to take down. We're going to get him.